You've spent your whole life building relationships. But what if, after 60, the people you counted on the most quietly disappear from your daily life? You've always believed your family and close friends would be there no matter what. But what if reality doesn't look like that anymore? Today, we're going to uncover a truth that many people learn too late. The strongest sources of support after 60 may not come from the people you love, but from something far more dependable. When you cross the age of 60, a quiet shift begins. You may have always believed your support system would be rock solid. Your family, your dearest friends, the people who've known you for decades. And in your younger years, that might have been true. But as time passes, life inevitably changes. People become busier, priorities evolve, and slowly, without warning, the relationships you once leaned on may not be there the way they used to be. It's not about blame. It's about truth. And the truth is, after 60, your safety net often isn't who you thought it would be. In this video, we're going to walk through 7 powerful pillars, foundations that are often more reliable than family in your later years. These aren't meant to replace loved ones. Instead, they're designed to give you something even more valuable, a deep sense of stability and independence, so that you're never left vulnerable when life takes an unexpected turn. Because when you build your life on these 6 cornerstones, you don't just gain peace of mind, you gain control. You stop hoping someone else will catch you when you fall, and start trusting that you can stand strong on your own. Stay with me until the very end, because these 6 insights may radically shift the way you view support. And once you truly understand them, you'll never again feel powerless, alone, or unprepared. Let's begin with the first pillar, financial stability. This might surprise you, but the most dependable support system you'll ever have in life isn't a person. It's your financial independence. Sure, money can't buy happiness, but it can buy peace of mind. It buys choices, it buys freedom, and it buys the ability to solve problems quickly, without having to wait on others. The older you get, the clearer it becomes. Relying on family for financial help is not a long-term plan, it's a gamble. Your children love you, yes. But they also have their own lives, bills, and obligations. Even with the best intentions, they may not be in a position to help when you truly need it. Take Richard, for example, a 72-year-old man who spent decades supporting his children, paying for college, helping with weddings, even covering unexpected expenses. He believed they'd be there for him in return. But when a sudden health crisis wiped out his savings, and he reached out for help, he was met with heartbreaking reality. His kids were barely staying afloat themselves, not because they didn't care, but because life is unpredictable. That's why financial stability is one of the strongest foundations you can ever build. And it doesn't mean being rich. It means being prepared. It means having a safety cushion, a steady income, a budget that works, and the wisdom to avoid debt that drags you down. So if you're in your 60s or beyond, ask yourself right now, do I have enough saved to handle a crisis? Is my retirement income secure? Have I protected myself from unnecessary financial risks? If your answer is anything but yes, then now is the time to take action. Learn to budget with purpose. Cut unnecessary expenses. Start investing in stability, not just survival, because at the end of the day, your finances are the one pillar that will always be by your side, no matter who else is or isn't. Up next, we'll explore another powerful source of support, one that you carry with you every single day whether you realize it or not. Pillar 2, your physical health. There's one thing in life that no amount of love, money, or outside support can ever replace: your health. After 60, your body becomes one of 2 things, either your greatest ally or your biggest obstacle. And the truth is, you could have all the financial security in the world, but if your health begins to deteriorate, your independence slips away with it. Yes, your family may love you dearly, but they can't go for that walk in the morning for you. They can't choose healthy meals for you, and they certainly can't stop the natural effects of aging in your place. That responsibility, it's all yours. Too many people neglect their health thinking, when something happens, someone will be there to take care of me. But the reality is, your children have their own lives. They're juggling jobs, bills, and children of their own. They may want to help, but they might not have the time, energy, or ability to become your caregiver. And if you rely too heavily on others to manage your well-being, you may find yourself feeling powerless when they can't. That's why prioritizing your health today is one of the most critical investments you can make for your future. Consider the story of Carl, a 68-year-old man who had always been active in his youth. After retiring, he slowly let himself go, assuming he had plenty of time to get back into shape. But before he realized it, his energy dropped, his mobility declined, and even simple daily tasks became difficult. His children visited when they could, but they weren't there every day. Eventually, Carl understood something profound. If he wanted to stay independent, he had to take control of his health. Not next week, not next year, but right now. The good news? You don't have to train like an athlete. Small, consistent actions can make a huge difference. Move your body every day. Choose foods that nourish you instead of harm you, and take your checkups seriously. If you've been ignoring warning signs, persistent aches, trouble walking, changes in energy, it's time to stop pushing them aside. Your future self will thank you for every healthy choice you make today. Because, when it comes down to it, your strongest support system isn't your children, your siblings, or your friends. It's your own ability to stay strong, active, and capable. The more you prioritize your health now, the less you'll have to rely on others later. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I invite you to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss future content. Now let's move forward to Pillar 3, a source of support that nourishes your spirit, lifts your mood, and keeps your life full of connection, even when others grow distant. Pillar 3, your social circle. One of the most common and heartbreaking mistakes people make as they get older is this. They slowly begin to isolate themselves. It rarely happens all at once. A friend moves away. A loved one passes. Routines change. And before you know it, your once vibrant social life has quietly faded into silence. But here's the danger. When you lose those regular connections, loneliness creeps in. And it doesn't just touch your heart. Loneliness after 60 can take a toll on your mental clarity, your emotional balance, and even your physical health. In fact, studies show that social isolation is linked to shorter lifespans. You might think, well, I've got my family. But, let's be honest, your children have their own lives now. They're managing work, raising families, and juggling responsibilities. They love you, yes, but they can't be your only source of companionship. That's why building and nurturing your social circle is one of the most important pillars of support. These are the people who check in on you, who make you laugh, who remind you that life is still full of joy. They're not a luxury, they are a necessity. Take Margaret, for example. She's 73 years old with 2 loving sons. But as the years passed, their visits grew less frequent. Calls became shorter. Family dinners were harder to arrange. Margaret began spending more time alone, waiting for the phone to ring, until one day, she decided to make a change. She reached out to old friends, joined a local community group, and even started taking painting classes where she met new people. Her days slowly filled with conversation, laughter, and that wonderful feeling of being seen, heard, and appreciated. She didn't need to wait for connection. She created it. Whether it's a neighbor you wave to, a book club you attend, or a group at your local gym, these relationships, no matter how small, provide something priceless, a sense of belonging, and, here's the beautiful part, the more you nurture your social life now, the stronger your emotional foundation will be in the years ahead. So ask yourself, who in your life right now brings you joy, energy, and companionship? If no one comes to mind immediately, that's okay. It just means it's time to expand your circle. Because at the end of the day, a strong social network isn't just about having someone to talk to. It's about being surrounded by people who lift you up, remind you of your worth, and make this stage of life truly rich. Coming up next, we'll explore something that's just as vital as human connection, your sense of purpose. Because even with good health and strong friendships, life can still feel empty if you don't feel needed anymore. Pillar 4, your sense of purpose. One of the most overlooked sources of strength in life isn't another person. It's not your children, your friends, or even your partner. It's something far more personal, your own sense of purpose. After 60, many people begin to feel a subtle but undeniable shift. The roles that once gave life clear structure and meaning, being a parent, a professional, a caregiver, begin to fade. Retirement sets in. Children become independent. The pace of daily life slows. And without something to strive for, something that gives direction, it's easy to start feeling invisible, even unnecessary. But here's the truth. No matter how deeply your family loves you, they can't give you purpose. That's something you must build for yourself. You need a reason to get out of bed in the morning. Whether it's a personal project, a creative pursuit, or a goal you've set for yourself, it's that inner drive that keeps your mind sharp, your emotions balanced, and your days full of meaning. It's the difference between watching life go by from the sidelines and actually participating in it. Let me tell you about George, a retired engineer now in his 70s. When he first left the workforce, he was excited to finally slow down and enjoy his free time. But after a few months, a strange feeling crept in. Restlessness. His days began to feel empty. Yes, his kids visited when they could, but they had their own lives. That's when George decided to take action. He began volunteering at a local school, teaching young children how to build things, passing on his knowledge and passion. Before long, he had something to look forward to each day, something that made him feel valuable again. That gave him structure, connection, and joy. Purpose doesn't have to come from a career. It can be found in countless ways: learning a new skill, mentoring someone, gardening, painting, traveling, or simply setting personal challenges that bring you joy. It's about doing things that keep your spirit alive and your heart engaged. If you've been feeling like your best days are behind you, maybe it's not your age that's holding you back. It's the absence of purpose. But here's the good news. Your purpose doesn't fade with time. It evolves. And the more you invest in finding it, the less you'll need to rely on others to make you feel fulfilled. Because at the end of the day, the strongest source of support you'll ever have isn't someone holding your hand. It's the fire within, you that keeps pulling you forward. If you're still watching and this message resonates with you, comment number 4 below to let me know you're still here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I invite you to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. Now, let's move forward to something equally important, something that helps you bounce back when life doesn't go your way: your emotional resilience. Pillar 5. Your emotional resilience. Life doesn't stop testing you just because you've grown older. In fact, after 60, the challenges don't disappear. They simply change form. Friendships fade, loved ones pass on, health issues emerge, and sometimes, even in a room full of people, you may feel lonelier than ever before. The truth is, no matter how much support you have from others, the most reliable strength you'll ever find must come from within. It's your emotional resilience, your ability to adapt, to process difficult feelings, and to find peace in painful moments that keeps you moving forward when everything around you feels uncertain. Far too many people rely entirely on their family to be their emotional backbone. They expect their children, siblings, or relatives to always be there for comfort. But reality doesn't always work that way. Everyone is fighting their own battles. They may care deeply, but they might not always have the time, energy, or clarity to support you the way you need. That's why developing emotional resilience is not just helpful. It's essential. Take Helen, for example, a 75-year-old woman who lost her husband after 40 years of marriage. At first, she leaned heavily on her children to help her cope. And while they loved her deeply, they were juggling their own families and responsibilities. Over time, Helen realized something painful but powerful. They couldn't fill the emotional void she was feeling inside. Instead of letting grief consume her, Helen chose to focus on strengthening herself. She joined a local grief support group. She started journaling her thoughts every evening. She practiced daily gratitude, even on the hardest days. And slowly, she discovered something incredible. She didn't need someone else to fix her sadness. She had the strength to heal from within. Emotional resilience doesn't mean ignoring your feelings or pretending to be okay. It's about facing pain honestly, working through it gently, and developing tools to help you carry it with grace. Whether that's writing, meditation, therapy, prayer, or simply sitting quietly with your thoughts, it's these outlets that help you build peace inside yourself. Because no matter what life throws at you, your ability to stand strong on your own will always be one of the greatest sources of support you have. And the more you nurture that resilience now, the less you'll find yourself dependent on others for stability. You won't need someone to make you feel whole, because you'll already know, deep down, that you are. At the end of the day, the one person who will be with you through every storm, every joy, and every moment of uncertainty is you. Up next, we'll explore the final and perhaps most powerful pillar of all, your ability to adapt to change. Because if there's one thing life guarantees, it's that nothing stays the same. Pillar 6. Your ability to adapt. If there's one undeniable truth about life after 60, it's this: nothing stays the same. People change. Circumstances shift. The things you once depended on, whether it's routines, relationships, or even your own abilities, may no longer be as reliable as they used to be. And the key to not just surviving, but thriving in this stage of life is your willingness to adapt. The people who struggle the most with aging are often the ones who resist change. They hold tightly to the past, to the way things used to be, and find it hard to let go. But the truth is, the more you cling to what was, the harder it becomes to embrace what is, and even harder to imagine what could be. Those who learn to stay flexible, open-minded, and curious, those are the ones who find new joy, new fulfillment, and new meaning, even when life looks very different than it once did. Many people fall into the trap of thinking, "I'm too old to change," but that mindset is far more limiting than age itself. It can hold you back from meeting new people, discovering new passions, or learning things that could bring richness and excitement to your later years. Being adaptable isn't just about accepting change. It's about actively looking for ways to grow with it. Take Frank, for instance, a 78-year-old man who had always depended on face-to-face friendships to stay connected. But when many of his longtime friends passed away or moved far away, Frank began to feel a deep sense of isolation. For a while he thought, "I guess this is just how it is now." But instead of surrendering to loneliness, he made a bold decision to adapt. He learned how to use video calls to speak with distant relatives. He joined an online discussion group, focused on history, one of his favorite topics. And through those small steps, he made new friends, proving to himself that meaningful connection never has to end, it just has to evolve. The people who truly thrive after 60 aren't always the wealthiest or the ones with the biggest families. They're the ones who stay curious, who stay willing, who stay in motion. If a door closes, they look for another one to open. If a relationship changes, they find new ways to connect. If something no longer works, they're brave enough to try something different. Your ability to adapt is one of the most powerful support systems you'll ever have. It allows you to face the unknown with resilience, optimism, and confidence. The more you embrace change instead of fearing it, the less you'll feel like you're losing something, and the more you'll begin to see that every stage of life still has something beautiful to offer. If you're still watching and this message speaks to you, comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing and turning on the notification bell so you never miss a video that matters to you. Pillar 7. Your relationship with time, learning to use it, not chase it. After 60, time becomes a companion, not an enemy. Yet many people still live as if they're racing against it. They dwell on regrets from the past, worry endlessly about the future, and forget that the present moment is the only time they truly own. Learning to live fully in the now, to use time intentionally instead of being ruled by it, is the 7th pillar, an often overlooked but crucial key to lasting peace and fulfillment in later life. Take the story of Lan, a 69-year-old woman who spent years haunted by what she hadn't accomplished in her youth. Each day felt like a loop of what-ifs until she discovered meditation. Slowly, she began to realize that every morning she awoke, every breath she took, every moment spent tending her garden or listening to her grandchildren laugh, these were not ordinary moments. They were miracles. She started to live slower, more mindfully, and she had never felt more at peace. That's why, after 60, what you need isn't more time. It's a better relationship with time. Spend your days on things that nourish your spirit. A warm cup of tea, a good book, a heartfelt conversation. Give yourself permission to rest without guilt. Be grateful, not regretful. Because in the end, time isn't measured by how many years you've lived, but by how deeply you've lived within each moment. At the end of the day, time is not something to chase, it's something to cherish. And when you master your relationship with time, you unlock a deeper kind of freedom. Reaching 60 and beyond is a stage of life that brings both wisdom and change. And while family may always hold a special place in your heart, the reality is that the most reliable support you will ever have is the one you build for yourself. Your financial stability gives you freedom. Your physical health preserves your independence. Your social circle keeps you connected and emotionally fulfilled. Your sense of purpose gives you direction and drive. Your emotional resilience helps you navigate life's pain with grace. Your ability to adapt empowers you to thrive, no matter what comes next. And your relationship with time reminds you to live fully, not hurriedly. Time isn't something to chase. It's something to honor, to use wisely, and to treasure. When you begin to treat each moment as meaningful, life becomes less about what's missing and more about what still matters. If you have these 7 pillars in place, you'll never feel truly alone. You'll never feel helpless in times of difficulty. And you won't have to wait for someone else to step in and save you because you'll already be standing strong. Thank you for spending this time with us today. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's one insight that stood out to you, and how do you plan to apply it in your own life? Your voice matters. Your experience matters, and your support helps us continue to create meaningful content that informs and inspires. If this video helped you, please like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to turn on the bell so you never miss an update. Until next time, take care of yourself, value your time, and remember, you are your strongest foundation.